everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing listing reviews, and hopefully that will help us improve our listings. A couple of things before we begin. The listings I'm going to show you are my listings. They're mine. They are from 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and I wanted to use my listings because I don't think it's right if I look at somebody else's listings, especially if I don't have their permission. I think that's wrong. So I decided to use my own listings. They are sold listings. Again, they're really old and I really picked them apart. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you 3 listings and then tell you what I think the mistakes were or are in those listings and how I've improved over the last 5 or 6 years. Then we're going to come back and then we're going to do a small wrap up, okay? So here you go. All right, here we go. So the first listing I want to show you is this Super Mario graphic tee. And one of the first things I want to show you is that the lighting is not the greatest. So this was taken when I first started reselling. We were taking photos in the basement, and this was under yellow light, like just lamp light. I don't even think I had my 2 umbrella lights yet. So it's just not great lighting for this at all. Also, the background was just a white sheet hanging up. It could have been steamed a bit better, I think. And of course, the t-shirt could have been, just hung better. It could have been on a mannequin. It could have been, even flat laid so that the sleeves came out. Obviously, I could have used more photos. There was only 3 here. At this time, I think we were only allowed, was it 8 when we first started, or was it 10 on Poshmark? Let me know what you think, because I forget what it was. So more photos would have been great, close-ups on the sleeves, on the neck, on the tags, material tags, size tags, things like that. So let's go over here to the title, and obviously it doesn't really tell you very much. It doesn't give you a size, it doesn't give you a color. Also, there's an exclamation point in here for some reason, and that's just a waste of a character. Most people are not using symbols to search, so keywords would have been really good up in here. And if you go here to my description, all I've done is redone the title in a different order. That's the word I'm looking for. I could have spelled out t-shirt instead of just putting T. Spelled out large. I could have added measurements. This is something that I did not do in the beginning, and really learned quickly that you needed to have measurements in there. So those are the few things that I would have changed with this listing. It did only sell for $12, which is not a lot of money. It was a super cute sort of retro looking t-shirt. That's a really good keyword I could have used. Retro and gamer and things like that. Adding Nintendo to the listing would have been good as well. So moving on to this little listing. So in order to combat my lighting issue at the time, I decided that I would start going outside. This is my cover photo for this Lundstrom dress. It's a horrible picture. It's blurry. The lighting's a bit better, but it's outside on an old rickety fence, which is not good. This is the second picture, which is a little bit better, but again, it's blurry, it's hazy, and I don't know why I thought that was good. So I did have more photos. I had 6 photos. I did have the material tag and the wash tag, which is good, and I did have the size tag with the brand name, which is a good thing. That's an improvement, which is good. Over here, it was just 3 for $30 Lundstrom dress. Again, it doesn't tell you anything. I could have put in, the material, little black dress, the size, the length. It's a mini dress type thing, things like that. Adding more keywords again. But in my description, I have added measurements, which is an improvement from my last one, which is good. But again, black short sleeve dress. It really doesn't give you that many keywords. It doesn't give you, really any information. And with your cover photo being like this, I needed to have better words. So I think the rule is take pictures like you have no words and use your description like you have no pictures. So it's something that I need to learn or needed to learn at that time. and I think I've done a little bit better on that now. Just a little note, this 3 for $30 sale that I had, lots of people have success with this type of sale. I think it's fine to put that in your title. I totally agree with that. It only took up 5 characters, which I think is worth it if you're running that kind of sale. People have had success. I have not had a huge success with that type of sale, but you know what? Never say never. I might in the future do something similar to get rid of some old stock. So, moving on. Oh, and again, I didn't have the full dress until the 2nd, so I mean, I should have put that in my cover photo, I think. All right, last one. This one. Silver Tuesday jeans. This was my very first sale on Poshmark. So this is 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago. They did only sell for $16. Gee, I wonder why. Not one of these photos shows the full of the full thing of the jeans, which is ridiculous. I do have the size tag and the material tag, which is great. I added measurements like this. And this was because I think there was a YouTuber that was doing that, and they decided that that's what they would do. And I thought, okay, that's not a bad idea. You know, get it out there. At least it's written, it's there in the photos, which is great. I now put all this information in the listing, and I add in photos of the measurements because I just like to show people where I measure. I think that's really important. So I don't do it this way anymore. There's nothing wrong with doing it this way. You could do it this way, and you could do the photos as well if you want. Either way, I think writing it somewhere where the buyer can see it is perfect. I think that you need to do that. But again, my cover photo, blurry, not great lighting, and it's not of the full pants. You know, now we're going to go here to the title. Silver Tuesday jeans really doesn't tell you anything. Again, we need size, we need, is it a low rise, high rise? They're very low rise. Are they straight? Are they skinny? Are they boot cut? Things like that, keywords like that will help get your jeans sold for sure, especially when your pictures are not great. Let's see, what else am I going to talk about? My description, I decided to try it in a paragraph, not point form. I do more so of a point form now, and I have a good sort of, I do a little description, you know, this is what it is, and the brand, and then I go to size and add the measurements, and then I go to condition, and I add in that, you know what, we're a smoke-free environment. Then I thank people. It's sort of a template that I use on my listing, which helps my process. So here, what I want to point out is I say the length of the tag says 33, and that's for the length. However, the inseam measures 31. There's no signs of the jeans being altered. Please see photos. But I don't have a photo of the hemline where they would have been altered. So that was ridiculous. I don't understand why I did that. So if I'm trying to point out something and I put it into the description, whether it's a flaw or they've been altered, I always make sure that I have a photo of that issue, because that way they can see it as well as read it. So I don't know. Anyway, those are my 3 listings. I'm going to come back and we're going to do a quick wrap up on them. Okay, so now that I've shown you those really bad listings, those photos, oh my goodness, a couple of things to keep in mind. Really good lighting is a really helpful thing. I'm still working on my lighting. I want to improve my ring light. The ring light isn't giving me enough light, especially when it's cloudy out where I take my photos now. So it's something I'm ongoingly looking at. You want to make sure that you photograph all aspects of the items, you know, little flaws or little, you know, interest areas, full-length pictures of the items, and then you can zoom in and do like the top and the buttons and the pockets or whatever. Measurements, I think, are really important. 99.9% of my listings will definitely have the measurements, both in the photos and in the listing itself. I think it's something that's really important. Also, one area where I could get a little bit better is in describing the condition. I usually just have some sort of generic good pre-owned condition, please see photos. And I think I could take that a step further and just sort of say things like no rips or stains, or pointing out the flaws, which I do, and just being a little more descriptive, but not to the point where it's just my opinion. You want to use words that is sort of perspective. You want to use sort of good, sort of hard facts instead. So somewhere I can improve as well. So yeah, so better photos, better lighting, better background, which is something that we have done really well with now. We've got it set up that it's pretty good. I'm liking it. And I use Photo Room to white out the background of most of my, especially my cover photos for sure. So yeah, so there's lots of things I can still improve upon, but from 5 or 6 years ago, I've come a long way, and I feel really good about that. Also, my process of getting listings up, getting my photographs done, has become quite good. I think I'm comfortable with what it is right now. Taking photos and measurements, you know, putting things away in inventory, getting them drafted and all that kind of stuff. So I'm happy with my process. And that is part of the challenge, is not only taking the great photos and everything else, but having a process in place that makes you want to do it, makes you want to list, makes it easy for you to do it. Just sort of like, okay, it's done. So I'm really proud about that. So that is my listing review. Let me know in the comments what you think of listings and what you can improve on your listings. And yeah, that's it. I'll be back in a few days. I have a couple of videos in mind that I'm excited to do, that we're going to do probably in the next week or so. I'm really trying to get back on track here. So fingers crossed. Okay. Anyway, that is it. I hope everybody has a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.